Hello there, I'm Charlie, aka Ronan Logan X, and this is Ronan Logan X Reviews. In this video, I'm taking a look at the Stranger Things retro Fright Features style figures made by Bandai exclusively for Target. As I said in my first video covering this line of figures, I think that this is a cool little line of figures, and I'm really appreciating them on the whole, especially now that I have all of them. So let's get to the figures themselves. First, we have Lucas, and as you're about to see, he doesn't really have much in the way of articulation. His only posable limb is his left arm, and the rest are either baked into position or are part of his Fright feature. Speaking of his Fright feature, he has a similar action to that of the 11 figure, where when you squeeze his legs together, his arm shoots up and his mouth opens up into a scream. Adds a little extra coolness to this is that he also comes with an actual accessory, which is his slingshot that you can put into his hand, so when his arm shoots up, it looks like he's getting ready to fire. Next we have Mike, who has a little more articulation than Lucas, but not much. Both of his legs are posable. As for his arms, they are worked into his Fright feature, which is where when you raise his arms up over his head, his eyes bug out as if he's frightened. I want to say that this is actually a reference to one of the Peter Venkman figures from the old Ghostbusters Fright Features line, so I think that's a nice nod to that. Although I do have to say that it's probably my least favorite of the Fright Features, but that's by a small margin. I love all of these figures a lot. And finally, we come to the Demogorgon, the Build-A-Figure, which is probably my favorite out of the entire lot, if I have to be honest. While his sculpting is simplified for that retro style feel, it's still pretty detailed and awesome in my opinion. And he's fully articulated for the most part, the only exception being his head, which just plugs into a socket on the torso, and that's it. But his arms and legs are fully articulated. Now, I do feel that I should mention that regarding his legs, I found them highly difficult to actually get onto the figure. So I had to actually cut the video and go off and heat up the plastic of the legs just enough that I could pop them on. So I would recommend doing that and avoid running the risk of potentially breaking the pegs. But once he's all together, he's an awesome figure and is definitely worth tracking down all of the other figures to put together, in my opinion. With all of that said, now that I have the entire line fully assembled together and am able to look at them all as a whole, I have to say that I can't give this line a high enough recommendation, especially if you love Stranger Things or are just a fan of those retro style, 80s style figures. And fortunately, at the moment, all of them are fairly easy to find, at least by my experience. So I would definitely say try picking them up as soon as possible because I think Dustin and 11 are on their way out in terms of availability in store at Target. However, the rest are starting to show up, so I would say just keep an eye out. I hope you have enjoyed this video and you have found it helpful and informative in any decision making you have regarding the purchases of these figures. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like, please comment, please subscribe, and ring that bell icon if you'd like to be notified about any of my future videos. Also, if you would like to find anything else of mine, you can find me on Instagram at RonanLoganX, where I post toy photography pictures as well as puppy pictures of my pup Ripley. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.